repercussion of the UK's decision to leave the European Union has been the impact on commercial property. Now, with a number of property funds having been suspended since the referendum over fears that commercial property prices could crash, I spoke to Haig Bathgate, joint CEO of investment management firm TCAM, about his outlook for property as an asset class.
Well, this is the classic thing, isn't it? When something goes wrong, investors always look back to the most recent crisis and assume that it's happening again. We don't think it is a repeat of the 2008 crisis. Almost every crash that happens is different in some way, shape or form. But it was classic. You saw commercial property selling off. You saw the bank shares selling off. So people were looking at it and thinking it was a rerun. We don't think that's the case. The banks are much better capitalised now. The banks don't have nearly as much exposure to commercial property, and investors in commercial property don't have nearly as much leverage or borrowing as they did in 2008. So we're certainly not overly concerned about the prospect for commercial property, and in fact we actually think it looks quite interesting because it's a natural inflation hedge.
How do you see the outlook for property as an asset class then?
So we like property generally. I mean, it's quite interesting. So commercial property we think looks quite attractive, and we've got unemployment rates at very low levels. We've got employment therefore at high levels. So the prospects for commercial property we think are sound. It's not overly levered, and the inflation-related characteristics are attractive. Residential property is much more difficult. It's much more regional. Obviously, here in London, there's lots of speculation about what might happen to the UK property market, and particularly London property. But and whilst there are lots of negatives, we have to remember that the UK property market's just got effectively 15% cheaper for anybody buying from the US, and a lot cheaper for foreign investors more generally.